everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we'll talk about the upcoming lunar eclipse and how it's going to impact all the 12 signs, and mainly we are focusing what you need to release at this time, what you need to get rid of so that you can function well, so that you can be at your best in everything. So we have a lunar eclipse on 8th of November 2022, and it's happening in the Bharani Nakshatra. That's why I was telling you there's a need to release something at this time, a burden which needs to go away. You have to let go of that. So 5 minutes ago, my mom was giving me this example. She was explaining me one situation and she compared that situation with the process, the act of giving birth to a child. So this process of giving birth is so painful. Those labor pains, it's overwhelming, it's difficult, it is the most terrible pain one goes through. And sometimes, the mind just gives up. It's so difficult. But once the child comes to the world and the mother looks at the face of the child, she forgets that pain, she forgets that difficult experience. Everything just washes away with that joy, with that beautiful feeling of having that child in the hands. So she was telling me that before you give up, just see that you're preparing for something good, you're preparing for something big, and that happiness which comes after that difficulty, you will forget what happened, you will just forget, and that joy which comes into your life, it's beautiful, it's life changing. And I think this description is enough to tell you what this lunar eclipse is bringing for you, especially in Bharani Nakshatra, because Bharani is about that birth giving process, how a mother takes a lot of burden, she carries that weight, she deals with those mood swings, that pain and so many issues, and then that act of giving birth, that child, is something so beautiful. And this is a nakshatra which is ruled by the deity Yama, who not just rules over death, but he rules over the cycle of life, death to birth, birth to death. So for each one of us, depending upon in which house this eclipse is happening, which house is ruled by Aries for you, something is reaching to its peak. Okay, you may get more emotional, you will be having a very overwhelming response, you may have this tendency to take rash decisions. So something reaches to its peak. After facing that peak situation, that peak of emotions, that peak of tension, burden, or responsibilities, you will see that a new door opens for you. And why I was constantly telling you about the deity of this nakshatra, Yama, the god who rules over the cycle of life, this is a very amazing time. We had a solar eclipse in Swati Nakshatra on 25th of October. It's in Libra. And then we have a lunar eclipse in the Bharani Nakshatra, which is Aries. So the first seventh house axis, which talks about partnerships, the people with whom we deal on a day-to-day basis as well, the people who are opposite to you, okay? Self and not self. So in this eclipse season, if something or someone exits from your life, it's not meant for you. If that chapter overs at this particular time, do not look back, because now you are entering into a new cycle. You will meet new people, you will meet new chances, new opportunities. So this eclipse season happened in the first and seventh house axis. So any partnership, any kind of important person, any kind of collaboration, even work association, something which ended at this time, it was meant to be over, because you cannot carry that burden, that load into the future. And the main theme for today's analysis is what is reaching to extreme, what fear is reaching to extreme, what emotion is reaching to extreme, and you need to release that. It cannot control you anymore. So, what you need to release and what kind of a gift you will attract after that, we'll talk about this today.
For Aries, the lunar eclipse is happening in your first house. This is the house of you, the self. This is the house of your vitality, your physical body. And moon rules the fourth house of domestic front, happiness, peace, how secure you feel in life. Okay? See, if you don't feel secure, if you're not at home, at peace within yourself, then nothing can change much for you. So, the first thing which you need to release with this lunar eclipse in the Bharani Nakshatra is that you are your home. You need to release this desire to find home in other people. Like you need someone's assistance to feel like you are at home, you're happy, you are at your best, you are secure. You need to find that security deep within. And there is this one fear which is often associated to the Bharani Nakshatra is the fear of falling down to the lowest point in life. And with this, you are confronting that particular fear this month, that what if whatever I'm doing it won't work, what's next, what if I fall down. You need to remove that fear, you need to release yourself from that tension as well, and you must have this confidence that whatever happens next, I can rise again, I can again, gather those building blocks, and I can work again and again in my life, I can create what I seek. So, the first thing is that you need to release yourself from the fear of falling down in life. Now, a lot is happening between you and your partnerships. It could be business partnership, marriage partner, or a love relationship, or just how you are dealing with the people on everyday basis, stuck between yourself and what you want and what others expect from you. So now you may have two different paths to choose, and there is confusion where to go in life. That kind of confusion is keeping you away from understanding your self worth as well. The second thing which you need to release is any kind of resentment in your heart. Because the most important aspect of this eclipse is the relationships. Because this is impacting the first and seventh house axis. So it could be you and your business partner, it could be you, your marriage partner, a loving relationship with someone, or maybe the people with whom you interact with on a daily basis. And you carry the burden of how they treated you, how they made you feel. That has brought some kind of resentment, because there was inequality, there was lack of justice. And the more you keep that in your heart, the more you will become bitter towards your own self. Because this is happening in your first house. The more bitterness you have in heart, the more is resentment you have within, you are hurting yourself. So releasing yourself from that resentment is also important. And the biggest blessing with this eclipse happening in your first house is that like around this time you may feel overwhelmed, you may feel that suddenly all kinds of responsibilities are on your shoulders, or even if there is no responsibility, you are too overwhelmed with the thoughts racing in your mind and doubts regarding self. But there is also a blessing, there will be a realization that how powerful you are. how amazing you are. You are achieving great strength and courage, and you are releasing all the doubts regarding yourself, and also all that bitterness and the pain you carry deep within because of your partnerships, because of the people. You will realize that these things no longer control me or control my future path. And as the Venus ruled houses are second and the seventh in your chart, a lot is happening with respect to relationships and family life, where you will be standing for yourself. Responsibilities, of course, you will do what you're required to, but now you are standing for yourself, you're working for yourself. For Taurus, the lunar eclipse is happening in your 12th house, and Moon rules your 3rd house in the chart. With this lunar eclipse in the Bharani Nakshatra, you need to release any kind of self made limitations, that this is my limit, I cannot go beyond this. Our mind learns so much, even we are not aware what we are constantly observing and learning from the world. Sometimes when we look at the lives of other people, when we look at the patterns of how other people are living, we feel that whatever limitations they have, whatever they are facing, maybe that is our limit as well. Maybe we are also going to face that. This is what life is about. So the surroundings have bothered you a lot in the last few days, and what you have seen, what you have observed, you are creating a certain restriction for yourself. Whatever the limitation is for the other person, it might not be for you, it might not be your story or your experience. So stop putting restrictions on your life, on your beliefs, because this is your 12th house, and be careful how you speak to yourself. You are releasing all those limitations. You will be now more focused towards how positively you communicate with your own self. There will be people around during this time who are constantly questioning your actions. They're constantly questioning your efforts, your beliefs. But you are releasing all of that. You are releasing that trigger, how other people are impacting you. You are getting rid of that. And now you are open to have a better belief on yourself. You're open to try new ways to reach to your goals. You will be more confident with respect to life. And as this is about Bharani Nakshatra, and Venus rules your 1st house and the 6th house, again I was telling you, self-made limitations are there. Maybe because how other people treated you in your family, maybe partnerships. Don't let that rule over your life, decide what you will achieve or not. Okay, and of course you have to see the entire axis, the 6th and the 12th house axis. So you are releasing your obstacles, you're releasing yourself from those sorrows which you're constantly keeping within yourself, and those sorrows and that pain is not letting you move forward. Ketu transiting from 6th house in Libra, let go those relationships or those experiences coming through relationships which are holding you back, and those problems are now coming up as health issues for you. So take care of your health as well at this time. Meditate more if possible. For Gemini, the lunar eclipse is happening in your 11th house in Aries, and Moon rules your 2nd house. So the greatest blessing with this eclipse is great financial abundance coming into your way. Like, suddenly a work of yours, maybe something you have done in the recent past, or your creative work, your potential, whatever you have done, um, it's bringing unexpected reward, unexpected gain, and it is more of financial or a lot of appreciation coming in your way, like you're suddenly popular. So this is a good thing happening here, it's a blessing. But there's also a need to release something. And what is it? Your own expectations and desires which you have in life. I'm not saying that you have to let go everything, okay? It's not good to have any expectations in life. But you know what? With so much happening within you, like you have so many desires, with this eclipse happening in the Bharani Nakshatra, now your mind is literally dealing with a lot of things, whether my desire will be fulfilled or not, whether my goal will be in reach or not. So a lot of tension is being growing for you, and you may reach to such a state where you cannot do anything. Your mind is so triggered by those desires, those dreams, those expectations, that you will feel like, my life is nothing without those goals, and I have to get those things, I have to complete those things. So the need over here is to release that fear connected to the completion of the goals. What you need to learn here is that one by one, with every day, you will reach to your goals, your growth, whatever you seek. It may not happen just in a matter of month or days. So that is what you need to release, that sudden urge to have everything right now, whether my long term goal will be accomplished or not. And also, you have to face, you have to confront something which is familiar but not acceptable to you, like facing someone who is very challenging to you. It could be a family member, it could be also a friend, someone who looks familiar, or you know this person from a long time, but you know that this bonding is not good for you. It doesn't makes you happy, it keeps you triggered or very emotional. So rather than running away, rather than closing that issue, you have to confront this person. Or it's just that there are some clashes with a family member, and you need to really focus on your value. You have to focus on your gifts right now. Do not doubt your gifts. And some responsibilities towards family may keep you quite busy.
For Gemini, I would like to add one more thing: how the eclipse is impacting your 5th and 11th house axis. Rahu in Aries, Ketu in the 5th house in Libra. There is certainly a friendship, a relationship, maybe someone you know from the workplace. There is someone or maybe group of people who are impacting something which is already weak in your life, and it is giving a lot of pain. It could be a wound, emotional wound, which is being teased right now. But there is a reason for it, because you haven't completely grown out of that experience. So, if that aspect of life is being impacted, something which was not healed, it's again coming up to surface. It's happening for the good, because now you are growing beautifully, and the more you are growing, the more you are attaining strength. You are getting ready for the accomplishment of what you desire and what you dream. Like a one step closer, one big step closer towards your achievements, what you always wanted to achieve. So that's a good thing.
For Cancer, this eclipse is happening in the 10th house, lunar eclipse in the Bharani Nakshatra. And with this, you are taking a new initiative, a risk, a bold step in your career path, or in general, even if it's not your career path, your approach towards life, your attitude towards the world, the society. Now you want to stand up with full strength. Maybe in the past few days, there was this um, a person or maybe a situation which kept you under pressure. You were being burdened by some kind of expectation, or you were being expected to follow a certain norm or a rule, and you didn't like it because it was not allowing you to grow or do your best or to be yourself. So now you're taking a very bold step in life, and that will act as a blessing for you. This courage which you are gathering to take a step, to move forward, to accomplish something, definitely a dream of yours, because here this eclipse is happening in the Bharani Nakshatra, and Venus, the lord of this nakshatra, rules your fourth house, 11th house. So something you want truly from heart, you're moving towards that. Now, what you need to release during this eclipse, and that is the burden you are carrying every single day, the meeting the expectations and the standards of the society. You must address that everyone is different, everyone carry a different trait, different qualities, and you need not to match with what others are doing or what they think is right. It could be anything, like beauty standards, it could be the work standards, it could be how you present your skills. You need to release that pressure that I have to be the same what others are doing. So release yourself from those rules and regulations, like those standards which are decided with the society. This is right, this is wrong, this is not good, you should be like this or that. So you are moving beyond this. Now you will have that courage to release yourself from such rules. And also, friendships are a major theme of this time. Need not to push certain relationships, like, no, let's make this happen, let's strengthen this bond, this friendship, or maybe a partnership. Do not force any kind of friendship or relationship to happen. Okay, you have to release that desire as well, because you know what, if you will do constant this forcing that, okay, let's fix this thing, let's do this, the more you will feel that you are losing your power, you are losing your strength, and a sense of security, a sense of happiness will be lost. So do not struggle in relationships or friendships for now. Just see what happens, like, go with the flow in this eclipse season. For Leo, the lunar eclipse is happening in your ninth house in Aries. Here, Moon rules over your 12th house. This timing, it's helping you to realize a lot of good things about yourself, like looking at the light, looking at the ray of hope, looking at what you can do right now. Okay, so initially, because Moon rules your 12th house, so you may feel very overwhelmed during this eclipse time, too much of overthinking, too much of analyzing everything. But slowly you will release all that tension, because now you will realize that yes, I do have something to hold on to. I have something which will help me to grow and expand, because you are worried about um, whether you will be able to get the right opportunity as per your skill and potential or not. But you are finding something very nice, and there is also like a miracle. If not the word miracle is right, but something unexpected which will make you happy, some kind of spiritual experience, a guidance coming to you. So there is this support or help coming to you, and this experience will make you positive about your path, about your life. And as this eclipse is happening in the Bharani Nakshatra, which is ruled by Venus, and in your chart, Venus rules the third and the 10th house. So you are actually adding a lot of value to your work, to your efforts. Maybe in the last few months, you almost give up on your work. Like you were doing your best, but then you said, okay, now I need not to do anything because I cannot see the results, especially in the career. But now it's time to get back to work, okay? And what do you need to release? You need to release all that self limiting thoughts you have about yourself. And these are not coming because you are weak somewhere. It's because of the dialogue going through your mind, and what others were saying about you, what others were believing about you, that is being coming out. Like you are behaving the way they were saying, you were doubting yourself because that strength was missing till now. Already Saturn was transiting from your sixth house for a long time in Capricorn. So your courage, your strength, your power, it has been challenged by constant obstacles, constant struggles. So now you need to stop that, release yourself from looking at yourself from the eyes of other people. A lot was happening, listening about yourself from others. You can't do this, you cannot do that, you didn't do this well. So you need to stop that and see what the best you can offer to the world, to yourself. And with this eclipse happening in the ninth house, there are some struggles while dealing with the guardian or a father like figure, or maybe a guru. There is difference of opinion, difficulties here. But the good thing which comes with this is you will see an opportunity. Even if everything is dark, you know where to go. You will be guided intuitively, you will be guided to that right path. So you are giving birth to something beautiful, a new opportunity in your way, and it is leading to more productivity and expansion. For Virgo, this lunar eclipse is happening in your 8th house, and moon rules the 11th house. What is reaching to the peak in this eclipse season? Your desires, your expectations, what you want from life. There is a need to achieve a goal, an ambition, a desire, deepest desire, I would say, because this eclipse is happening in your 8th house. But you are not sure whether I should take the action or not. Should I take this risk or not? Will it be worth it? That is the question. So, emotions are reaching to the peak, the desires are reaching to their peak. What happens next? What's happening beyond the current situation? Because you're dealing with stagnation. Maybe you are indecisive about your work, maybe taking important actions with respect to your personal life. It could be relationship as well, or maybe a financial decision. So there is stagnancy, there is lack of decision. But you will get clarity. You will find what suits you, what brings you joy. You will find that path. for sure. And do not take rash decisions, because you may do that with this eclipse in the eighth house. A time to sit back and observe and take each step slowly. So, what do you need to release? What do you need to let go with this eclipse? You need to let go your fears about tomorrow. What will happen next? Will it be in sync with what I want from life? Or will it be absolutely different? Because, see, everyone has a desire that whatever happens next, it happens as per our expectations and what we want to gain. And that fear is not letting you move. That fear is not letting you to take action at all. So let go, surrender, release that fear about tomorrow and what happens next. And Venus is ruled by Bharani Nakshatra. So Venus rules the second house and the ninth house. So again, it's about the future opportunities, what's happening tomorrow with respect to family, with respect to finances. That is the theme here. And there is a massive clash which I see with someone in the family. Your values don't align with that person's values, or you're tired of giving your best, and there is not fair exchange of emotions, there is not fair exchange of what you are giving to this person and what this person gives to you. Disagreement in family connections is there, and also disagreement with the partner may happen, because this is the house 2 places away from the seventh house. So two people going in absolutely two different directions, ego clashes or problems with respect to sharing responsibilities is there. Taking more charge in your relationships, focusing on the responsibility side of relationships becomes the major theme. What is the gift coming to you with this eclipse? Gift of self discovery. You will realize whatever you were worrying about till now, it doesn't matter. Because what is there for you in the next chapter, it's surprising, it's full of joy, and it's taking you to the right place. What is there for you? What is meant for you? So, a beautiful opportunity awaits you with this eclipse. For Libra, the lunar eclipse is happening in your seventh house, Bharani Nakshatra. With this eclipse, what is going to its peak? The realization that you have given a lot of power in the hands of other people to control you, to manipulate you, or to take decisions on your behalf. Because with the Ketu in Libra in the first house, there is imbalance. Imbalance of not having a control on your life, having a control on such relationships where there's a constant exchange of something, resources, values, love, and you're realizing that in order to set that exchange right, in order to achieve more love, maybe more appreciation, or just to set things right, you gave a lot of power to others, and now you feel that the other person is having a control on you. It could be anything, a business partner, marriage partner, a loving relationship, or a family member, and now you need to let go. You have to release the fear of not being accepted by the world. You will rise above beautifully in your full confidence. You are ready to show your flaws and your beauty as well. So, that fear of your flaws, that fear of not being perfect all the time, it needs to go away. and it will. And you will shine in the eyes of public. There will be some gossip about you, definitely, because whomsoever is successful, that person becomes the talk of the town. So constantly someone will try to point out your flaws, anything which is uh, you don't like about yourself. What you don't like about yourself, you are giving it as an excuse for other people to, make fun of that. Okay? So if you are confident, if you accept your flaws, if you accept your failures, others cannot use that as your weakness. So you are getting your power back, and a big achievement is indicated. Moon rules the 10th house. So, with respect to work, if you're dealing with chaos, if you're dealing with some kind of gossip, if you're under burden, a lot of pressure to do something, I think you will win. You will definitely win. You will have this great power. You will have this ability to use your skills in an amazing way, and you will make your way out. You will be just putting end to this situation, and a new start awaits in your career, where you will have a much bigger role. You have enough freedom to take charge, you have enough freedom to make decisions. Very powerful changes with respect to career. And this eclipse is happening in the Bharani Nakshatra. Venus rules the first and the eighth house for you. Take care of your health. Chronic health issues. If you're dealing with already a chronic health issue, keep a preventive check. Take your medicines regularly. Do not self-medicate yourself. Don't do that. Okay, so health needs great care. Focus on your physical and emotional health both. For Scorpio, the lunar eclipse is happening in your sixth house, in Aries, which is ruled by Mars. And Mars not just rules your sixth house, but also rules the first house. What does that mean? In this eclipse season, you need to stop becoming an obstacle for yourself. Right now, you are standing in your way. Your emotions are standing in your way. Because the moon here rules the ninth house. Okay? And the eclipse is happening in the sixth house. Something regarding yourself, how you treat yourself, whether it's your physical body, whether it's your emotional state, it blocks your opportunities, or how you make the best use of your opportunities. What is reaching to the peak with this eclipse in the sixth house? A lot of responsibilities on your shoulders, especially coming through, firstly, the family life, and of course partnership. It could be business partnership, relationship, marriage partnership. And there are many things where you are not given responsibilities, but inherently you feel, your mind thinks, this is my responsibility, holding yourself responsible for such things where you haven't given any responsibility. Because the Lord of Bharani, Venus, also rules the 12th house where there is Ketu. And this placement is constantly telling you, hey, let go, let go. You're not responsible for each and everything which happens around you. And you are learning this with this eclipse in the 6th house. You're not responsible for every single thing. Whatever you have in your hands right now, focus on that. Do not live in future as well. So your courage is reaching to its peak. You'll be like, okay, enough of weakness, enough of overthinking, enough of focusing on my enemies. Enough of focusing on how others are controlling me. Now let me take charge of my life. And what is the gift coming towards you after releasing this fear of other people, that fear of burden and responsibilities? The gift for you is ultimate strength. You'll be like, oh, nothing bothers me anymore. I have this power. I have gone through such difficult times that I am ready. I am ready to chase my dreams, and even if something happens out of plan, unexpected, I can handle it. I can take care of it. That kind of confidence is coming into your life. And please do not get triggered by the people around you. Certain family relationships, they are challenging you, or they have always challenged you, and now you're looking at yourself through the eyes of them. So every single step you take towards your goal, you start looking at those steps through the eyes of them. What would they think? What would they do? Stop doing that. Because Libra ruling the 12th house, you do get impacted by the people on a deep subconscious level. Also, you are being guided spiritually. Some kind of spiritual experience, extraordinary experience may happen in the days to come, and through that you will be guided, you will be shown the right path. For Sagittarius, the lunar eclipse is happening in the 5th house in Aries. And what is reaching to the peak with this eclipse? Well, it's your power, it's your potential. You know, do not be in any kind of doubt regarding your worth, because you are in a doubt. Because what's happening here, you have a certain way of working, you have a certain way of approaching life, but others are telling you to do things differently. Okay? So you are in a situation of conflict. What to do? To follow my path, or to do what others are saying is right? Because this is happening in the Bharani Nakshatra ruled by Yama. Yama has a lot to do with structure, justice as well. So you feel that, am I going out of a particular pattern? Am I going out of a certain way of working? My way of working is right or not? There is a big question mark. So your doubt is reaching to its extreme, to its peak. But so is your creative side. Your potential is reaching to its peak. And once it reaches to its peak, something beautiful is born, and that is the gift of your creativity. Your work will be more successful. Your creative side, your innovative side will be respected by the world. Great material gains will come through this. This house is about children. It's about your children. It's about the child deep within you. So, this eclipse is increasing the desire to be loved and appreciated by the world. Children, they constantly need support, care, love. They need to be constantly reminded that they are loved, and your need to be loved is growing and growing. But don't let that become your biggest obstacle, because Bharani rules the 6th house and the 11th house. So don't let how others treat you, how they love you or they don't love you, become the obstacle here in order to have your growth and your gains. Alright? Some relationships are becoming an obstacle for you because they're not understanding your value and worth, and so is you are not understanding your worth because of that situation or people. So, what do you need to release here? Release your expectations. Release the need to be appreciated, validated, accepted by others. Focus on the childlike element in you. Everyone do have that childlike element. Okay. So you need to be more playful and joyful towards life. And that is the gift, that is the blessing you're getting through this eclipse. Like your pressure, your burden, your responsibilities with respect to work, with respect to your dreams, like I want this, I want that to happen, it's going to so peak that you will almost forget to be happy. Now you will realize that being happy, celebrating life, enjoying your life is more important than any other destination. So, understanding your child, the inner child, is the greatest gift. For a lot of people, like if you have children, dealing with your children, working for them, for their education, for their health, will become a big challenge at this time. And if you are into a relationship which is absolutely new, like it's happening from last 2 3 months, a truth, a reality will come to the surface. You will be now more aware of the intention of that person. Something is constantly happening under the wraps. There is not enough awareness of this person because moon here rules the eighth house. Okay, so there is something hidden in relationships. You don't know the intentions of the other person. Now you will be more aware of what's happening in your relationships, your important friendships. It might be painful in understanding that, but that truth which you will become aware of will help you to look forward in life. Now, any relationship, any bond, how others treat you will no longer be your obstacle. You're not waiting for someone to validate you. For Capricorn, this lunar eclipse is happening in your fourth house, and moon here rules the seventh house. And one thing I want to point out here is that Jupiter, the 12th lord, is 12 places away from this full moon, this lunar eclipse. And it has a big meaning. This shows a very big dream, a big picture in mind, which is right now dormant, like a very slow process of moving towards this dream, completing this dream. And what is reaching to the peak? The worry here, the tension, whether this dream will be fulfilled or not. And you're criticizing yourself for not taking the right actions. And this eclipse in the Bharani Nakshatra, which is your fourth house, this indicates there are few things which you are not looking at right now. If you want to reach to that bigger picture, that big dream you have in your mind, there are few responsibilities, duties, or certain things which needs to be completed. They may appear to be very tiny, maybe insignificant sometimes. You have to complete those. You have to look at those things. Like from day to day basis, certain works needs to be completed. And once you start focusing on them, you will be way closer to that big dream. And also there is lack of ability to enjoy life, to live to the fullest here, because this lunar eclipse is happening in the Bharani Nakshatra. Taurus rules the fifth house, Venus rules this house, Venus also rules the 10th house. So two things are happening here. Number one, emotional reaction, your too much of thinking process is keeping you away from taking the right actions towards framing your life, framing a strategy to reach to your dreams. And also, even if you're not focused towards your work, like you're still sitting with all of that work, like I want to do this, but you're unable to focus on it. So there is a lot of time wasting happening here.
and it's leading to lack of fun in life as well. Okay, let me finish this, let me complete this, let me fulfill this responsibility, then I'll enjoy. But here, with this eclipse, you will realize that a little bit of fun, a little bit of creativity every morning before you start with your work, or maybe after coming back from your work, maybe both times, is required. So you will find out ways to express yourself, your speech, your manual skills, your hobbies. More focus on that. You will focus on having fun, and by having fun, your productivity will increase. You need not to postpone your happiness and your fun because of the overburden you have on your shoulder. So that is a big realization. What is reaching to peak here is tensions. Tensions associated to a big dream, and you're worried whether it will be fulfilled or not. It could be also tensions about the security, your security, your family's security with respect to money, with respect to home, shelter, emotional security. And what you need to release here, the fear of being alone. You need to release the fear of tomorrow. Any kind of imbalance happens tomorrow, you have the power to take care of it. You will be able to stand. You will be able to have more stable things in life despite of the changes. So that's the gift. Ability to enjoy, ability to focus on your blessings. That's the gift coming through this eclipse. For Aquarius, the lunar eclipse is happening in your third house. Here, Rahu co-rules the first house, Moon rules the sixth house. So what is the major theme here? What is reaching to the peak during this eclipse season? The ability to, accept yourself, to address yourself, to be confident enough about your identity and who you are. There are two themes going together in a parallel fashion. One is fighting the competition, even if this competition is not there, like very evident, not physically there, people are not saying anything to you, but mentally, emotionally, you can sense that, you can feel that you are being challenged here. And the second theme is the desire to fit into the world, fit into the, criteria of other people, what they think is right. So here, this eclipse in the Bharani Nakshatra indicates that you are releasing these two things, not being challenged, not being into some kind of struggle all the time because someone out there is challenging for you, not getting triggered by others very quickly. That you have to release, and you will release it. And secondly, there is no need to fit in to the world, whatever they want from you, their standards. Okay, you're moving towards your own growth, because third house has a lot to do with growth, not just the finances, but growth on a personal level, growth with respect to your decisions, your courage, your strength, taking initiative in life. So self growth is very important, and this is the biggest blessing coming into your life with this eclipse in the Bharani Nakshatra. Something new is being born, and that is you yourself, your courage, your love for self, your identity, and how you approach things in life. The biggest gift is about committing to yourself, committing to your growth, and there will be no more confusion about your path. And something is going away, and it will clear your path, because this axis, the third and the ninth house axis, is about efforts, initiatives. The more you get into these initiatives, the more opportunities are coming through the ninth house, and there is something which you're not letting go. how others treated you, how others connected for you, maybe giving time to something which was not for you. It could be work, it could be a project, it could be a person, it could be a certain way of thinking. It was not for you. And now it's moving away. Now you are getting away from that issue. And as you clear that, you're making more space for new opportunities coming into your path. And for a moment, if you feel you're not being supported enough in your life right now, don't let that feeling make you weak. So, the biggest gift with this eclipse is more power and giving birth to something amazing, something creative, something innovative. And that work will be appreciated. It will open one more door of opportunity for you. Something big is coming through that door. So, courage is something where you have to work a lot during this eclipse. Also, right now, your first house is hemmed between Jupiter and Saturn. That too, Jupiter, Saturn in their own signs. They are two major planets here. So, you are at a stage of life where some major decisions need to be taken. A solid foundation is happening behind the scenes. And this eclipse in the third house wants you to release all that anxiety, tension, or anxiousness which you have regarding the future, whether I will be able to deal with this or not, whether I will be able to fulfill this or not. This is bringing a lot of courage, releasing those tears, releasing those tensions, insecurities, and fears, and enhancing your core, your strength to make those decisions, to be your support in this particular time period. You will be your own support here. For Pisces, this lunar eclipse is happening in the second house. And it's happening in the Bharani Nakshatra, so Venus rules the third and the eighth house. Right now, something needs to be restored in your life. Something needs to be fixed. And Jupiter is helping you in this process. Being in Pisces, first house, there are certain endings for you. But also there are few things where a bridge needs to be created. Something needs to be fixed. It cannot be ended, but fixed. Because you will be requiring this in the future as well. And with an eclipse happening in the second house, of course the eighth house needs to be counted here as well, the entire axis of second and eighth house. This is about repairing, mending, restoring certain relationships. It could be family, it could be the marriage partner, it could be a significant relationship, a loved one. Confronting that person, confronting those challenges which are blocking the relationship. And secondly, also mending your finances, fastening your seatbelt, preparing for a new initiative, preparing for a new journey, a new work, a new method, which will help you to save more money, to get more expansion with respect to your finances. So a lot of work towards the second house affairs is indicated. Be careful what you eat. Health issues may happen because of improper diet or too much of junk food. So eating habits also needs care. And what is reaching to the peak with this eclipse happening in the second house? Two things. Number one, a pattern of life. Something is happening round and round, round and round. You try to fix it, it comes again. You again encounter it, it comes again. So finally, you will realize what was missing here. And once you know that, that pattern is over. Once you realize the truth, once you accept that truth, once you know now how you need to react, what was missing, you will stop dealing with this repeating issue, repeating pattern again and again. It could be related to your health, it could be your finances, it could be relationship as well. And secondly, with this eclipse, your ability to give value to yourself will get enhanced. You will be looking out constantly for appreciation, for value, especially from family members, even for very small decisions. You may be depending on others. It's not that you cannot take your decisions, but you do seek approval, you do seek some kind of support or validation. Now that need is going away. So you're reaching to the peak of finding your freedom. I'm not saying you're completely detaching from the family. You will address your responsibilities there, you will work for them, but you're also understanding your path, your individuality. That is also important. And of course, there are a lot of responsibilities with respect to home. Taking care of mother or taking care of your children will be a major theme here. And the biggest blessing with this eclipse in the Bharani Nakshatra is finding something so beautiful about yourself. How you look, how you work, your creative talents. There is self discovery here. Maybe you were ignoring that quality of yours till now because you always felt others are doing more good, others have more than me. The grass is greener on the other side, not on my side. Bharani here is ruled by Venus. So Venus rules the third house of self, initiative, courage, strength. And then it also rules the eighth house of changes, rebirth, transitions. So major transitions regarding self realization, self worth. That becomes a major theme. And there is a work here which will give unexpected results. It will be a surprise, such a gift for you. You may not you may not be having a lot of expectations from that work you have done in the recent past, or maybe what you're doing right now, but brilliant results are coming in your way, and this will enhance your confidence as well. And be very careful how you talk, how you interact with the world. Your words might be misunderstood, so speech needs great care.